What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Authentically Audrey B TV, better known as AAB TV. I am your girl, Audrey B. Y'all, I have been under the weather. I had the flu, or had the flu. So that's why you're just now getting a video of our favorite show, my favorite show, America's favorite show, Abbott Elementary. So let's get into the recap. I don't know why they do my buddy Jacob like this, but they always do him that way. That boy is sleeping on the couch in a house where he pays rent while his brother then came back in town and is trying to be a fitness trainer, and Melissa is treating him like her son, as she says. And Jacob just gets the boot and gets treated bad every time. And it was given Will Ferrell on step brothers, the way that Caleb was acting. Uh, just overgrown kid for real. So we also start off the episode with Janine talking about how good it's been. She's got like 36, 37 students in her classroom, which is way too many students to have in one particular classroom. Like, I thought 27 was enough, but 37? Yeah, right. Only in TV land, right? So she's talking about how good the students have been doing on their lessons, how she feels good about where she is, and she's managing everything well. And they start learning about a new topic, deep blue sea. In comes Ava, who is always determined to just take the light right out from under Janine. And she tells her that she has to have more students, totaling the number of students in her classroom to 42, which again, only in TV land would that ever work. And she's just like, suck it up, girl. She was like, the school they stopped working on, when we decided to tell them to start back working on Abbott, now they have to stop, and something happened at that school, so they're sending kids to us. So here you go. And she was just like, no, I can't do this. And she's like, no, you're going to. Goodbye. Y'all know how Ava is. And so it just ends up being just very, very overwhelming for Janine. She's tired. The kids don't get no respect. They doing whatever they want to do. She can't reel them in. She can't get them to listen while she's trying to teach. They doing flips and falling. Got bow and arrows and all type of stuff. And she's just like, I need some help. I need some help. And I was like, girl, what? She's like, I need some help, because she's been walking around drinking filter coffee water. Gross. She can't function. It's too loud. She's just not herself. So she tells Ava, like, look, I've had it up to her with these kids. You need to give me some help from the district. And Ava's like, ugh, okay, whatever. I'll see what I can do. Meanwhile, the other teachers are talking in the lounge about about a student that Janine has in her class that possibly may have ADHD. And they start to, kind of give their opinion on medication for ADHD and the parents and how they feel about it and all that type of stuff. And unbeknownst to them, Dominic is in there and he's listening, and he's, just kind of seeing how they feel about the situation. Well, he tells us that he was diagnosed with ADHD and he takes medication for it. And Barb had made a comment saying that it's just a shortcut, basically like parents don't want to deal with it. And he was like, if it's a shortcut, it's a shortcut that I'm willing to take because it actually helps me. Meanwhile, Jacob is in there and, he's asking an opinion on if he could pull off outfit. Mr. Johnson is in there, making his little regular statements and little, little conversations. And nobody seems to really make a big to-do about the conversation. But you could tell that Dominic had some type of like feelings towards it. And so he decides to go talk to Jacob after class one day And without saying what it actually was, he just said that there was a conversation that they had and he didn't like it, and asked Jacob if they talk about this type of things regularly. And Jacob is just like, giving his little 2 cents, but he's also in the midst of assuming what the topic of the conversation is without actually asking, and without Dominic coming out forthright and saying what he's talking about. So he takes it upon himself to think that the conversation is about Dominic being gay. And I was like, oh my gosh, I knew that was going to happen some way. Somehow I knew that that's what he was thinking. And Dominic had no clue that that's what he was thinking, right? And so he's like, why don't you go talk to Barb? And he's like, Dominic's like, no. And then Jacob's like, I'm going to go talk to her. So meanwhile, we also learned that they don't have a gym teacher. So Ava tells Greg and Melissa that they are up to be the teachers for gym. And Jacob comes up with this idea that, his brother's in town. He's really good, at physical stuff. And he's good with kids. He would be perfect for the job. And I was like, look, I don't have time for that. And in my mind, I'm like, girl, he's trying to help you out. Why don't you have time? Why don't you never get time to deal with what needs to be dealt with? So she's like, I don't have time. And Greg and Melissa, y'all got it. And so they're in the gym. The kids are not having fun. They're being extremely strict. They're not having fun activities. They're teaching football. They got them doing exercises up against the wall. And they're all just like, just over it. And Jacob is like, look, I told y'all my brother could do this. I'm telling you, if y'all give him a chance, he can turn this whole thing around. Y'all won't have to be in here. Like, he's the best for the job. And they're like, okay, whatever. So they finally let Caleb come in. He comes in and he does. He turns everybody upside down. He's got kids over here doing something. He's got kids over there doing something. And kids over there doing something. And the kids are enjoying themselves. And the Melissa and Greg are kind of just, they're annoyed at first. But then they're kind of like, you're right, Jacob. Like, your brother really is that one. And and he's really good at what he does. And so that's pretty much that with them. Now, like I said, Janine went to Ava because she needs an aide. And she's like, got you an aide, girl. And then she makes this big grand introduction. And by the time she got to the end of it, I was like, don't tell me my girl's coming back. And at the same time, Janine realized who it was. Miss Ashley Garcia, y'all. From the first couple of seasons. She's back. She's back and better than ever, because homegirl done, for the last 3 years, she done became a lot wiser in her in her title. She's won awards. She knows what she's doing, and you could tell right off the bat that she was excited to be there, but Janine was not having it. She was not happy. She was just like, look, I told you to give me an aide, not a 43rd student, because remember, she's got a total of 42. And Ashley is is known to be very immature and just like not serious about stuff. And she just felt like Ava just did not do her a service of sending her back. Mind you, I am very, very glad that in this episode, and maybe like the last one, it has shown Janine really like taking up and standing up for herself. Like, she does still have this, like, she lets people like kind of like tread lightly around her and like walk over just a little bit, take advantage just a little bit, but she's not a pushover anymore. Like, she was really letting Ava know, like, look, no, I'm not happy about what you did. I can't believe you did this to me. I said I need help. Where is my help? Now, does Ava always pay attention to it? No. But we, the viewers, the audience, I see the maturity in that area when it comes to Janine, because homegirl was like, no, I said I need help. So this is what I need, and you're playing in my face. You're not taking me seriously. But still, Ava being Ava was like, girl, you're gonna have to make it work. It's all I could do. And so while she's in class, she's, trying to be the mature one out of her and Ashley. And the kids, again, super rambunctious. They're not listening to her. They're not listening to Ashley. And she's just like, can you not join in with them? Can you help me come up with a way to get these kids to calm down? Like, this is not going to work. Like, what are you doing? And she's trying, and Ashley lets her know, like, I have an idea of how we can get them to be quiet if you hold up this picture. And she's like, I need real solutions, and you're playing with me. And she's like, basically just over Ashley. And she was kind of being a jerk, like kind of that I know more than you, or I'm smarter than you, but it wasn't coming off like real heavy. But she made sure that she let Ashley know that she didn't agree with, certain things that she was doing and how she wanted to handle stuff. But Ashley was also letting her know, like, look, the last couple of years I've grown and I know what I'm talking about, and I'll follow you, but at the same time, like, you gonna be sorry. And eventually she was, because what she tried to get Ashley to do, or what she wanted both of them to do, did not work. And she finally held up the picture of this man, and the kids were quiet, and she was shocked. So when she ended up having to apologize to Ashley, like, look, I mean, I shouldn't have, assumed that you haven't grown in the last few years that you've been in your position, because I myself have grown, like I said. And and she was like, I apologize. You do know your stuff. And in the midst of them, talking about ways to help keep the kids calm and things like that, Ava comes and snatches Ashley up because she needs her help with some type of technology stuff. And Ashley's like, look, girl, I know we're in the midst of, talking and stuff, but I ain't serious like that. So I'll see you later. And she runs off and goes with Ava. And then towards the end of the episode, y'all, she was good. They were back where they needed to be. And everything was being handled thus far in the classroom with all these kids. Now, mind you, remember, Jacob said that he would take it upon himself to go and talk to Barb about, this whole Dominic being gay situation, and how he was offended about what she said in the break room. But none of that was true. But he did go talk to her. She didn't want to be bothered either. And so he sort of kind of got out what he needed to get out, but he didn't. And so when he went to go check in with Dominic, he was like, I kind of talked to her. I kind of did not. But he was just like, thank you for trying, maybe, maybe I can let her know. And that he got to talking about some stuff, and then Jacob was like, wait, what are you talking about? And he's like, I have ADHD. Isn't that what you thought I was talking about? He was like, no. He was like, I did not know. He said, I thought you were gay. And he was like, oh, no. And he was like, thanks, Jacob. I appreciate you, but I'll go talk to her for myself. So he did. He eventually went to go talk to Barb. Again, she didn't want to be bothered either, but she decided to talk to him real quick. And he let her know that he was basically offended by her comments about medication for ADHD being a shortcut, and it's just a cop-out basically. And he's just like, it helped me. And she was like, you were always, busy, but I didn't think that, it was that serious. And he was like, it took him until he was an adult to actually see how the medicine really helped him. And he doesn't think that comments like that he thinks that comments that they make like that about medicine could hurt the future of some of the kids who do eventually have to start taking medication for other things other than ADHD. And Barb realized, like, wow, like, I need to watch what I say, be more mindful of what I say, so that I do not end up offending people or turning people away from something that could help them. And then he also mentioned, like, I'm not gay. And she was like, oh, all right. Mind you, She never knew that that's what Jacob was talking about. But again, assumptions, right? So after all of that, everybody's still chilling in the gym, and they're showing Jacob is showing Ava and the other teachers like how he was right about his brother, because he's still doing one heck of a job with all those kids in the gym, and he wants her to consider hiring him to keep them in their classroom, and also to have a permanent person for the gym. And she's like, he don't even got his credentials. Like, and then Greg was like, well, you didn't have any of your credentials until when you first started. So, like, come on now. And she's like, okay, I'll give it a try. So, who knows, y'all? Maybe Jacob's brother is gonna be staying for a while. And he was excited, and then he realized, oh, my brother's gonna be staying for a while. Oh no, because again, in the beginning, he's kicked out of his own room and sleeping on a plastic covered couch in a place where he pays rent because Melissa likes his brother more, calls him something like a son. I said, couldn't be me. We be sleeping in the same bed, or you'll be sleeping in that guest room, or I would be. Y'all got me messed up. Y'all not about to keep on messing with my Jacob like that. Yeah, and in the end, I don't know where Mr. Johnson got all this gangster from. No telling what story he would tell to let me know. But the way he jacked up Caleb in that wannabe lie detector lie detector scene at the end, I was like, oh gosh, get out of his face, scaring that boy, and you ain't even doing nothing but looking at a game on your laptop, and got him over here thinking that he's failing the lie detector test. So yeah, y'all, it was funny. But this episode, like I say all the time, is everybody needs a little bit of help. Everybody should be mindful of the things that they say. Again, if something is said that offends or you don't like, say it. Be, outright with it. Don't assume. And always leave room for people to make mistakes, but also for people to grow as well. Because just like Ashley, just like Janine, they needed each other. And what one person doesn't have the best, ability in, somebody else can come up and help push that up a little bit more. So be open is what I'm trying to say. Be open minded to help from people higher than you, lower than you, because you never know who could actually really help you. And that's why I love Abbott so much, because they don't leave out the big people on the job. They don't leave out the little people on the job. They all work together as one, how it should be. And me working for the school district here, some changes are being made even now, even for me and my job. And so I'm excited to see, but also kind of nervous to see what's gonna take place. But whatever it is, I truly hope that we have a team similar to Abbott, to where there's no little I's and no big U's, and there's just like that family unit still, because it makes or breaks a school or a team that you work with. And we all have room to grow, and we all need help, and we all need one another. Amen. So yeah, y'all. I hope that you guys like this recap. I hope you guys can forgive me for being so late. But like I said, I just could not bring myself to press record the other day, and I actually feel a little bit better, even though my voice is going in and out. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you for watching. I do. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. Oh, before I go, Did you all see that Elementary has been renewed for season 6? Congratulations, everybody! Woo! Season 6. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace. Enjoy your weekend.